And today,
we're taking out a rear end.
hey, this is Clint from CT Mad Mods, and I guess Kevin told you what we're doing. I got a clicking in my rear end. I got a Suzuki Sidekick center section that Trail Tough built me for my Samurai. It's called a hybrid rear end, and it takes the center section from a Suzuki Sidekick, and it's got DOM tubes, and the outside is Suzuki Samurai, so you're able to put Samurai axles in it. I got chromoly axles in my rear end, but I've got something that's clicking in the rear end. When I drive it, I can hear it tick, 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 tick. It's annoying me, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull this apart. I need to count the number of bolts on the ring gear anyways, because I'm gonna get a E-locker from Zuxa Hazard, my buddy Casey Morrison. Go check him out. And he told me I need to figure out what rear end that I've got in here. So got to take it apart anyway so I can get my order on, and let's get this sucker pulled apart. First thing I'm gonna do is drain that oil. Woo. It kind of looks like there might be a little bit of metal in this, but it's hard to say. It doesn't look real silver. That oil that's in here is green, so that doesn't help. But it does kind of look metallic right there. I guess we'll find out here in a minute. Next thing we're gonna do, pull them wheels and tires off, pull them axles out, take that drive line off, and pull that third member out. I got the drive line off. I pulled these 4 bolts and pulled the brake drum off, sitting right there. These are 17 millimeters. Your lug nuts are 19. So pulling the other side off. Make sure your emergency brake isn't engaged, or you won't be able to get these drums off. Your drums should just come right off if your emergency brake isn't engaged. It's kind of hard to do it with one hand, but it'll pop right off. All right, so the way I take my axles off may be a little different than yours. I got this backing plate from Roadless Gear and kind of chopped it down so I could slide it over the axle. And then I just run the bolts this way, and the nuts are on this side, and it captivates that bearing. So I can take these axles out without removing this whole drum. You don't have to do this modification, but if you don't do that modification and you want to remove your axles, you have to remove all of this, and you have to bust your brakes loose and bleed them. So I did it this way. I saw Ron at Fab & Adventures YouTube channel did that mod, and I ran right out and grabbed a couple of those plates and modified mine to work that way. Here's a better view of what that backing plate looks like. And you just slide it over your bearing like so, and it goes through, and you bolt it up backwards. Yeah, they're factory Samurai. Looks like it's time for me to start considering putting some bearings in. They shouldn't have that much play. Yeah, that bearing's getting funky. Not good. Sorry about the air compressor, but anyways, I just zipped all those nuts off, and I'm about to pull this third member. I'm sitting here looking at this drive line, and it's got a little bit of movement in the U-joints. Can't really see it that well. This U-joint's brand new, so I'm not too worried about that. And I pulled the axles and just kind of cleaned it up in here and Didn't see a whole lot. There was a little bit of metal. There's a little bit of metal in that diff, but it's I've needed to do a oil change, and so it's a brand new axle housing and a brand new to me third member. Here, I'll show you what's going on with the third member. So I checked the third member over, and the ring gear looks good, the pinion looks good, all the bearings look good, everything's still tight, so that doesn't concern me. It's got just a little bit of play in it, like nothing that concerns me. There's no play in that, so I'm gonna slap her back in. I'm chasing some kind of clicking noise, so it could very well be the axle bearings are shot, and maybe that's contributing to it. Could be in the drive line. I'm hoping it's not in the transfer case. Maybe I ought to just dump the oil in my transfer case and see if it comes out funky, and we'll go from there. Well, I've looked at that third member, I've looked at my axle housing, I've looked at my drive line. It looks like I need axle bearings, which it's really fast and easy to pull those axles, so I'll just change those next week or the week after. I'm gonna order some good OEM Samurai axle bearings, the Japanese ones, and get those coming. I'm gonna dump my transfer case oil just to change it and see what it looks like, see if there's any metal in that. But I just don't know where that clicking's coming from. Don't know. All right, well, I'm gonna put some gasket maker on this housing, and I'm gonna slap that third member back in here. And I think I'm gonna drain this transfer case and just look and make sure that it's good to go. Oh yeah, and Casey over at Zooks of Hazard wanted me to count these, the number of bolts on the ring gear, and so there's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Reminds me of Sesame Street. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. Third member's back in. I'm gonna plug that drive line onto it, slap these axles back in, and throw some oil in it, and we're gonna head to the house. Remember to put oil in it. All right, it might seem that I didn't accomplish a lot by pulling that apart and looking, but I had to pull it apart to find out how many bolts I had in my ring gear so I can order the right locker, E-locker from Zooks of Hazard. So figured that out. It's 12 bolts. I didn't see anything in that third member that looked like it was clicking or making noise. It was nice and smooth like butter. All the bearings look good. I need to change my axle bearings, so I'm gonna order a couple of sets of them. I have a whole front end rebuild kit. I don't have any rear end bearings, so I'll do that. I'm gonna have to take it all apart anyways whenever I put the locker in here in a couple of months. So this is kind of like maintenance. I haven't changed the oil in it anyways since I've put that locker and that rear end in there. So it's all stuff that I had to do anyways. All right, I said I would pull this drain on this transfer case and see what that oil looks like. So I guess I'll just do it. I don't remember the last time I changed the oil in it. I drive it pretty hard, so let's just check and see if there's any metal in that transfer case. A little bit of something in there, but that doesn't surprise me. It's that green Stay Lube color, but it looks a little metallic-y. I might just get a rebuild kit for this transfer case and rebuild it. Put new bearings in it. Yeah. But it doesn't look horrible. Alright, I changed the oil in my transfer case, and everything else looks kind of good under here. Hybrid axle looks good. I'm gonna let her down and throw them tires on. Well, it's back on all fours. I'm gonna go give it a little test down the road, and I guess we'll see what happens. Hopefully the clicking's gone, but I don't know if we found something. I didn't see anything. So I'm gonna give her a little once over, driving down the road. And this might be the end of the video. So if I found something, I'll come back and let you know. All right, so I had to take that rear end completely apart to figure out how many bolts I had on my ring gear. And so that was accomplished. While I was in there, I went ahead and checked to see what was going on, what was clicking in the rear end. And I didn't really see anything, but I didn't take the differential completely apart and look at my locker and stuff like that. But I just didn't see any big chunks of metal, and I didn't see any broken teeth, so I was satisfied with that. But I got online this morning and clicked on YouTube, and I seen my buddy Casey over there at Suzuki Hazard did a video last night or whatever, just posted it. And he's pointing to a customer rig in the background, and he says, and we're working on that one right now because it's got a clicking in the rear end. And he said it had broken pins in the locker, which totally makes sense. I've got a Spartan locker in this thing. Of course, it's coming out soon, so I'll probably have broken pins. So more than likely, that's what it is. I'll confirm later whenever I take that third apart and put that new locker in. But we're ordering lockers. I'm gonna get some E-lockers from TRE. Anyways, thanks for watching my video.